Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Last night we have already talked about listening to the Dhamma. So we also have two different alternative explanations. Today we have to continue another 5. We can also say the 5 factors leading to the attainment of the path of fruition knowledge while listening to the Dhamma. 1. Not underestimating or disregarding the Dhamma. So sometimes some of the suttas will be very easy. Then we don't show our respect. Okay, we have one example in Majjhima Nikaya. A group of bhikkhu, they know the Pali grammar. Then before coming to see the Buddha, in their mind, they thought, when the Buddha delivered discourses, he also used genders, cases, singular or plural forms. But we also know all the genders, cases, singular forms and plural forms. Then the Buddha cannot give Dhamma talk beyond that. They have that kind of mindset. Then the Buddha delivered very difficult discourse about the element that they cannot understand. So sometimes when we give very easy Dhamma talk, people may not respect. They may underestimate the Dhamma. But if we give very difficult Dhamma talk also, they cannot understand. Okay, now here the first one. Not underestimating or disregarding the Dhamma. When we have this kind of mindset, we can absorb the Dhamma. As I have mentioned yesterday, they can also attain path and fruition knowledge while listening to the discourses. Then 2, not underestimating or disregarding the Dhamma teacher. I don't know how do you feel this kind of statement. According to Myanmar culture, when we give Dhamma talk, mostly people just look at how many degree, how many examination the Dhamma talk has passed. According to the law, that means Myanmar law also, if somebody hasn't finished Dhammacharya or something similar to Dhammacharya, they are not officially allowed to give Dhamma talk. This is the law. So that means sometimes there are many Dhamma talkers, although they haven't finished Dhammacharya yet, but they have already learned many parts. That means many part of Buddha teaching. Okay, now modern tradition in Myanmar, we have many Langara examination. Then we also have many other similar examination, like Nikaya examination, for example. In some part of country, there are many organizations. Different organizations hold different examination. But anyway, sometimes we just think about the education of Dhamma talker. Then we may not respect to the Dhamma teacher. We're going to get benefit. Of course, the Buddha is well educated, right? The Buddha was well educated. Then, when he gives Dhamma talk, sure he gives Dhamma talk wholeheartedly. So, if ordinary Dhamma talker give some instructions or explanation, then there will be many questions. Okay, the main thing is if we underestimate the Dhamma teacher, we cannot get the benefit. Another one, not underestimating or disregarding oneself. In my life, as a meditation teacher, or as a Dhamma talker, I have met many people. Then they say, I don't think I can attain jhana. It's very far from me. They don't believe themselves. They don't believe their ability. How many of you have this kind of mind? Then there are also some meditator. Jhana is very far, right? I don't think I can see the light. I can see the nimitta. They don't believe their ability. If we underestimate ourselves, our ability, we cannot improve. We must believe our ability. How many times do you have that kind of feeling? If you have this kind of mind, this kind of feeling, oh, I don't think I can attain jhana. I don't think I can see the nimitta. I don't think I can see nama rupa. I don't think I can discern divine origination. If we have this kind of mind trying to remove, it's not beneficial for your practice. So these are underestimating. We say three. Underestimating the Dhamma teacher, and ourselves. If we have these three underestimating, we cannot get the benefit. Then the next one, listening calmly and attentively. So this is also important. When we listen to the Dhamma, we must listen to it attentively, calmly. When our mind is very busy, we cannot absorb any of Dhamma talk. We cannot remember anything. That is why it's important to have calmness of the mind, and we must have full attention to the Dhamma talk. And the last one, contemplating and reflecting on the teaching appropriately. This is the one thing. Actually, there are many part of discourse. Okay, if I say easier way, when you study Anguttara Nikaya, in the very beginning, what I will say, there are 4 things. That's introduction. After that, the Buddha will explain one by one, or the 4. At the end, the Buddha also said again, these are the 4 things. So, introduction and a conclusion. That's also main material, main content in the Dhamma talk. If we can pick up every single Pali word, if we can understand and elaborate every single Pali word, it will be more effective. But for that kind of understanding is not that easy, because we have to learn many things in detail before we listen to the Dhamma talk. So briefly, if we can contemplate, reflect on the teaching properly, appropriately, it will be more beneficial. It depends on how we recall also. Okay, now we have to move the next one. This one is the 6 factors that hinder the attainment of direct knowledge. So we need to attain path and fruition knowledge. But if we are not very wise, then there will be some hindrances. Then we also have to know all these six one by one. Well, some of them have already had been explained before in previous Dhamma talk. So I will just refer to previous Dhamma talk. Okay, now the first one. Not understanding the factors leading to decline. Hana Bhagya Dhamma. That means we don't know what kind of factors leading to the decline. Last night, I have already mentioned 8 factors of declination, such as busy with many activities, talking a lot, association or communication a lot, making many conversations. These can be the factors leading to decline. So when we have declinations of concentration, we have to recall what kind of factors make us decline. If we can recall, we can change. If we cannot know what makes us decline, we cannot change, we cannot improve. The first thing is we must understand, we must know it. Among the 8 factors last night we have explained, which factors make you decline? Actually, in the case of Hana, we can also say decreasing the quality. For example, in the case of morality, there can be many different reasons of declination. It can be association. It also can be our defilements. It also can be lack of knowledge or negligence. There can be many reasons of declination. Similarly, when we talk about insight knowledges, there are also many factors of declination. We have to know what kind of conditions make our insight weaker. Okay, now we have to move the next one. Not understanding the factors leading to stability. Titi Bhagya Dhamma. Here, Titi Bhagya means not improving. Every day we are doing the same things. We experience the same things. The same degree of concentration. The same level of knowledge. Not more than that. This is called Titi Bhagya. For example, in the case of Sila, morality, we undertake 5 precepts. A few months ago also, we just do the same, 5 precepts. Now also doing the same. In the future we will do the same. That means we are not improving. Similarly, concentration. Yesterday we are focused on the breathing. Today also focus on the breathing. No more improvement. Then there are many different practices also. Different tradition may approach different way. But the main thing is we stop in some point. Last night I have already mentioned, when we have very strong tranquility, then we stop there. For example, Venerable Anuruddha, he had attained very strong divine eyes. He could see many thousands of world systems with his divine eyes. That means he can expand his light into many different world systems. Without having very bright light, he cannot see it. Because divine eyes depending on the light, brightness of Kasina. Although he had this kind of power, he could not improve. One day, he approached Venerable Sariputta and asked a question. In his questions, there are a few points. I also have very strong psychic power, having very bright light. But I'm also very diligent in practicing. But so far, I cannot improve. I cannot attain higher attainment. When he reported this thing to Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Sariputta replied, "You said you had very strong divine eyes and you could see many different world systems. That means you have mana, pride. Try to remove it. Even very minor things can hinder his improvement. You also said you are diligent. That means you have a restlessness." Okay, one more thing here. If we have excessive effort, it causes restlessness. Then Venerable Sariputta reminded him to change. Finally, Venerable Sariputta also recommended, "You said you cannot improve, you cannot attain higher attainment. That means you have remorse. Try to remove it." Okay, now here this is just an example. In our practice, if we cannot improve, we have to check what kind of things make blockage, what kind of factors hinder our improvement. If we can check and know, we can change, we can improve. So if we don't understand the factors leading to stability, that means stopping, no more improving, we can change. If we don't know, this is the hindrances. If we can know, we can change. The next one, not understanding the factors leading to destination or distinction, which is our Bhagya Dhamma. Okay, here we should say Visesa. Okay, now you are focused on the breathing. This is the normal. If you can start experiencing something new, we can say Visesa Bhagya. Then people also ask, how can we know that we are improving? So very clear one is seeing the light. It's very clear already, right? You can see the light. It's very clear. You have improvement. Okay, you cannot see the light. How can we know we are improving? Then we can also understand many other things. For example, how many minutes you can focus on the breath. Then how long you can focus harmoniously. Sometimes you can know breathing effortlessly. If you can know the breathing effortlessly, we can also say improvement. When you have rapture, joy, tranquility, bliss, very clear. This is also improvement. This is called Visesa Bhagya. Okay, if we explain Visesa Bhagya according to the text, so if we can eradicate or subside the defilements, that means we have improved something. In every single improvement, we can subside something, some defilements. For example, when we can attain asset concentration, we can subside hindrances already. Then when we can attain jhana, it becomes clearer. We may have clearer jhana factors. In the second jhana, you have already know, we have to remove with the kind of vichara. This is just an example. Every single improvement, there is something we have already cut. Okay, in the Vipassana also. When we talk about Nama Rupa discernment, then we can also use the Pali words Nama Rupa Paricheda or Nama Rupa Vavatthana, discerning mentalities and materialities. If we can do well, we can overcome 20 types of identity view. Although we are practicing Vipassana, if we cannot overcome 20 types of identity view, this is not correct. Something missing. Then when we can practice the knowledge of cause apprehension, in Pali, Pacaya Parikaha Jnana, then we can overcome 16 types of doubt. If we cannot overcome it, it's not truth. Something missing. So in the case of Visesa Bhagya, in every single improvement, we have overcome something. We have subsided something. This is called Visesa Bhagya. Then they also mention, if we can break down or if we can eradicate greed, hatred, delusion, conceit, it's very clear. We have improved something. Although we think we are improving, but we still have the same defilements every day. This is something wrong. So not understanding the factors leading to distinction, that means improvement. This is also hindrances. So if we know or understand the factors leading to distinction, then we can also practice smoothly. We can also find better way to improve. We can also expect improvement. So these are not understanding. Hana Bhagya, declination. Titi Bhagya, no more improving or stopping somewhere. Visesa Bhagya, improving. If we don't know these three, these become hindrances. We have three more factors. Not understanding the factor leading to penetration, Nibbeda Bhagya. Okay, that means in every single improvement, we know something new. We can penetrate something new. For example, when we can discern Nama Rupa, we can break competitiveness. If we can break the competitiveness of nama rupas, the perceptions of anicca, dukkha, anatta become obvious. This is just an example. Okay, for a beginner now, if you can see the light, you can know something new. If you can experience rapture, joy, tranquility, you can also know something new. You have a new experience, new knowledge. Then if you can see the nimitta, you can also know something new. If you can focus on the nimitta, you can know something new. So in every single improvement, we can know something new. If we cannot know anything new, that means we don't have improvement. So if we don't understand the factors leading to penetration, then we cannot improve also. Now, 5. Engaging in what is it? Futile. Asakachakari. Okay, when we talk about asakachakari, that means we are doing something disrespectfully. Actually, there are many different types of asakacha, disrespect. For example, we may practice anapanasati, that we don't believe, we don't practice respectfully, we cannot improve. When we are practicing, we must do it respectfully. So in your home, you may have many valuable things. When you are going to use your valuable things, you use it respectfully. For example, like jewelries, ornaments. In Nepal, right, you like many ornaments, right? So when you are using valuable ornament, then you will use respectfully. Now when you are practicing Dhamma, it should be the same. You must practice respectfully. Is it more valuable than the ornament? Is it more valuable than jewelries? You can buy jewelry in the store, in the shop. You cannot buy concentration. You must do by yourself. So if we do respectfully, we can improve. Here, asakachakari means we just practice something disrespectfully. Okay, now the last one among the 6. Engaging in what is harmful, asapayakari. Okay, here in this case, we are not practicing properly. Because sometimes we do as we like. We don't follow the rules and regulations. So there are many rules and regulations in every single practice. For example, when you are practicing anapanasati, don't follow internally, don't follow externally. This is something to be avoided. If we don't avoid, we cannot improve. This is just an example. There are many things to be avoided when we are practicing anapanasati. Okay, another thing, we have already recommended many people. When you are practicing anapanasati, don't think about general characteristics and natural characteristics. General characteristics means anicca, dukkha, anatta. Right? So don't think about anicca, dukkha, anatta when you are focused on the breathing. Similarly, natural characteristics such as heat, cold, hardness, softness, and many other natural characteristics. If we follow them, it's not anapanasati anymore. So when we are practicing, we must practice properly, following the guidance given by Asian scholar. We must follow the guidance given by the Buddha. In the case of anapanasati, we can find many information in Bodhisattva given by Venerable Sariputta. We have to follow all the guidance. So if we don't follow, it becomes hindrances. We cannot improve anymore. So these are the 6 hindrances. That means 6 factors that hinder the attainment of direct knowledge. So that means if we have these 6, we cannot attain any higher attainment. Then you have to check what kind of factors do you have. If you have 1 of them, okay, you can change it. 2 of them, a little bit serious, right? 3 of them, 50-50. If 4 of them, you cannot expect. If you have all the 6, 0. It's not, you're not meditator anymore. Right? So we need to check which factors hinder our practice. Okay, these are the factors. Another thing, we also have to know the 4 factors leading to the fruition of street entry. That means if we want to attain Sotapanna, we must have these 4 factors. I think for today, Tamato, it will be the last topic maybe. Okay, now we should start with the first one. Association with noble friends. Sabburi Samsewa. Actually, there are many different types of association. Sometimes we just associate bodily, but then like eating together, walking around together, traveling here and there together. Right? As a lay person, you may enjoy many festivals together. And this is also called association, just bodily. Then we also have association bhavali, making conversation, right? Maybe chatting something. But here, in the case of Sabburi Samseva, we must associate with noble person bodily, bhavali, and mentally. The main thing is we must emulate the way they practice. We must learn something from them. Although the way they behave, then this is also called association. For example, the noble one may have very strong faith, very strong confidence. Then if we follow, if we listen to their speech or if we learn from them, we also have strong confidence. The noble one may have very strong morality. We can also learn from them how to be moral. The noble one will be very wise. If we can learn from them, we can be wise. Sometimes we have a lot of association. That we may be very close to wise people, good people, but we don't know how to get the profit. Then we cannot improve anymore. Okay, the first one, association is important. In every single improvement, there's a supporting cause. One of the supporting cause is good association. For example, if you are lazy, try to associate with diligent people. Then similarly, if you have very weak awareness, try to associate with mindful people. If you are unwise, try to associate with wise people. We can learn from them, we can improve. Now next one. Listening to the truth Dhamma. Yes, Sat Dhamma Savana. Okay, how can we know Sat Dhamma? Truth Dhamma or novel Dhamma? How can we decide truth? Sometimes, although we listen to the discourses, it just produces a lot of doubt. Right? You may have listened to many lectures, many Dhamma talks. After listening to the Dhamma talk, you cannot gain the faith. You cannot develop your faith. You just develop your doubt. This is not true Dhamma. It's not noble Dhamma. So if we have true Dhamma, it will support good quality. Then it will produce good qualities. I just mentioned saddha, confidence. Actually, there are many other good qualities. For example, morality. Sometimes in some Dhamma talk, they just encourage you to break precepts. They don't encourage you to be moral. Okay, for your understanding, I should pick up one point. You may also have known this passage from Mahaparinibbana Sutta. The Buddha talked to Venerable Ananda. Ananda, when I pass away, you can remove minor rules. Right? You may have known this kind of passage. Now modern community, if they want to break precepts, they just quote the one. The Buddha allowed to remove minor rules. It cannot support your morality. It cannot make your morality stronger. It will just make your morality weaker. So that means novel Dhamma, truth Dhamma must support morality, moral value. Similarly, knowledge. In true Dhamma, it will produce knowledge, higher knowledge, stronger knowledge. Mostly, in many Dhamma talks, they just trying to introduce what they experience. So many of meditation teachers in modern society, they just trying to introduce what they experience in their practice. It's their experience, not your experience. We cannot guarantee you will experience the same or not. So if we say the Dhamma is not our own experience, it must be according to Buddha teaching. We experience many things. Some of them are not in the teaching. Some of them are very minor. That is why Buddha didn't talk about it. Okay, for example, when you can focus on the breath, you can experience tranquility. It doesn't mention directly. You cannot find in the Tipitaka. But this comes from experience. You can experience practically. These are minor. That's why Buddha didn't explain that kind of things. But if we find, okay, if we make many thoughts combined together, it's possible. We can get that kind of source. For example, one of the sutta in Anguttara Nikaya, they are mentioned. If your morality is pure, it can produce delight. When delight becomes stronger, it will produce rapture or joy. When joy becomes very stronger, it will produce tranquility. When tranquility becomes very stronger, it will produce bliss. When the bliss becomes very stronger, it will produce concentration. We have that kind of source in Anguttara Nikaya. Okay, the main thing is, there are many things we can experience in our practice, but some of them cannot be found in Tipitaka directly. But if we can experience something in accordance with Tipitaka, it will be better. Okay, now, Sadhama Savana. Listen to the truth Dhamma or noble Dhamma. That means it will produce wisdom. It will support your wisdom. Another thing is it will support your concentration. I think you may have already known many Dhamma talks. Many Dhamma talkers also complain, right? No need concentration. We can do vipassana. Then there's also many new interpretation, like a dark jhana or something. I don't know where they can find. Right? So we don't have white jhana or dark jhana or black jhana or blue jhana. We don't have. Right? Jhana is a jhana. It not come from color. Right? So the main thing is, if truth Dhamma, then it will encourage you to establish concentration. Sometimes we have 3 trainings, right? Sila, Samadhi, Panya. No Samadhi, only 2 trainings. We skip one. Then you also have no Noble Eightfold Paths. Right? Then, if we don't have right concentration, Noble Sevenfold Paths. If we reject it, Sila, morality, no need morality, just mindful. Right? People also say like that, right? No Sila. 3 more factors are removed from Noble Eightfold Paths. Right? Samavacha, Samagamana, Samajīva are Sila. So no Samadhi, no Samavacha, Samagamana, Samajīva. Noble Eightfold Paths will change to Noble Fourfold Paths. So that means if some of the Dhamma remove many part of Noble Eightfold Paths, be careful. Okay, if we have opportunity to listen to Dhamma or Noble Dhamma, then that also can be the factors leading to Satapatti fruition. Then another one, what is the intention? Yoniso Manasikara. Actually, Yoniso Manasikara is a very wide. Sometimes people also say positive thinking. We cannot say positive thinking also. But not all positives are wholesome, right? In the case of Yoniso Manasikara, it must be wholesome. We also have some explanation. For example, understanding, impermanent, suffering, non-self, repulsiveness. These are also called wise attention. Actually, there are many other types of wise attention also. But when listening to the Dhamma talk or when listening to other people which are trying to pick up only important things or beneficial things from conversation, this is also called Yoniso Manasikara. Okay, the main thing is that we can get some benefit, having right intention, proper intention. Okay, now the last one. Practice in accordance with the Dhamma. Dhammanu, Dhamma Patipatti. Okay, here we should elaborate a few more things about Dhammanu, Dhamma Patipatti. Dhamma, very clear. This is a 9 supramundane Dhamma. Okay, I should elaborate a few more about it. 9 supramundane Dhamma means 4 path knowledges, 4 fruition knowledges, and Nibbana. Altogether 9. These are called 9 supramundane Dhamma. Anudhamma. Anudhamma means something conformity with 9 supramundane Dhamma. We can also say something that leads to supramundane Dhamma. This is called Anudhamma. Patipatti means practicing. So as long as we are practicing the Dhamma that leads to 9 supramundane states, 9 supramundane Dhamma, this is called Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatti. For example, Sila, morality. As long as we are undertaking precepts, observing precepts, following rules and regulations respectfully, then it will lead us to Nibbana. Similarly, when we are practicing samatha respectfully, then it will lead to concentration. Then this also we call Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatti. So as you have already understood, Sila will produce Samadhi. Because Sila comes from speech and action. Then when we are pure, action and speech, then we can also purify our mind. Then it will produce concentration. So based on Sila, we can practice Samadhi. When Samadhi becomes stronger, we can see Namarupas. Then when we can see Namarupa systematically, we can also practice Vipassana. Then we can also take part in fruition knowledge. So in every single step of practice, from morality, concentration, Namarupa, cause and effect, contemplation on nature dukkha anatta, in every single steps, we are getting closer and closer to Nibbana. That's why we cannot stop practicing. Sometimes we just find what's morality. We don't want to improve anymore. Then Titi Bhagya, you may have already known, right? Titi Bhagya means leading to stability, no more improvement. Standing still in one place. If we have morality, we must try to improve, train our mind to attain concentration. Similarly, in the concentration also, when we can attain some level of concentration, we can satisfy with our concentration, no more improvement, no more practice. If we stop, this is also Titi Bhagya. Again, not only that in Vipassana, in every single Vipassana, if we stop somewhere, practicing some part of Vipassana, no more improvement, no more practice, this is also Titi Bhagya. Actually, here Dhammano Dhammapatipatti means we must move forward until we can break down or we can eradicate the defilements. We can attain path and fruition knowledge. So these are the 4 factors leading to fruition attainment of Sotapanna. So you have to check how many of factors do you have? Then how many of these 4 factors you need? If you can find what you need and what you have, you can improve. Okay, today I will stop here. Then if we summarize all the things today, we have to listen Dhamma talk properly, with right intention. This is the one thing, right? Another thing, we must understand, or we must know what is it, the conditions that make us decline, that make us improve, that make us stop somewhere, some part of practice. So, if we can understand everything well, if we know what we need, we can improve. Actually, there are many other impediments and obstacles in the practice that I have to introduce everything step by step. So I have already mentioned, in every single improvement, we have something to overcome. We have some new experiences. Then try to know what's the news, trying to experience new things, then trying to eradicate something new, then it will be for our improvement. Okay, may you all be able to practice 3 trainings, and may you all be able to realize final cessation and no suffering.
Please advise a meditation teacher inform a yogi that she is already in the state of Udayapyanyana knowledge, and please inform to the bhikkhu in
Udayapyanyana.
So this question actually is not so clear.
Yeah, not quite clear also.
Yes.
I don't know why
Yeah, I'm also.
that kind of question come.
Yes. So if not clear, then we move to the next question.
Okay.
Vanamisara, may I ask how to keep the nimitta long? Thank you, Sarah.
Okay. Actually, there are many ways to maintain your nimitta, right? Then you have to check. You have to remember all the suitable conditions. I have already mentioned Hana Bhagya, right? The factors leading to decline. There are 8 conditions I have already mentioned, right? 8 factors. If you have these factors, then you will get lost. This is the one thing. Okay, not only that, you also have to remember all the suitable conditions. For example, suitable food, suitable weather, suitable friends, suitable posture, and so on. So sometimes when you get lost, you have to check what is the problem. The factors of declination or unsuitable conditions. It depends on what you have to adjust again. Then you can regain your concentration. Okay, we have to understand a few more things about declination of concentration. For example, defilements. When you have very strong defilements, you will get lost. This is also one other thing. Another thing is, I have already mentioned, right? Busy, conversation, all that thing, right? This is also one of the part. The last one is laziness. If you have to do the same things every day, you will get bored and you will be lazy. It will be one of the problems of declination. Okay, if we say in Pali, kilesa tiba, that means you have very strong defilements, you will get lost. Second one is asapaya gochara, unsuitable conditions. We can also say the factors for declination, right? These are also called unsuitable conditions. The last one is ananu yoga, not practicing diligently. That means you are lazy. This will make your concentration weak. Sometimes you will get lost your nimitta. If you can protect yourself from all these factors, you can maintain well, you can also improve. Okay? Okay. Actually, Bhavanga is a few conditions. Following the Bhavanga have few conditions. That means sometimes you are relaxing too much, then your concentration becomes very strong, your effort becomes very weak, you can fall into Bhavanga state. There can be many other conditions also. Right? In this case, we cannot say laziness. That means lack of weaker effort, stronger concentration. That causes Bhavanga. Okay? We cannot say exactly. In the case of Bhavanga state, sure you may have normal condition in your heart or everything, but the main thing is your mind become blur. You cannot know any particular object.
Another question of the same person asked that, please share advice. Is one of the levels of vipassana knowledge that the meditator has obtained, and can the knowledge fall to the initial level, or how? Please review it.
How do?
So I just read again. Is one of the levels of vipassana knowledge that meditator has obtained, can the knowledge fall to the initial level, fall back?
Retreat.
Yes.
Or regress, right? It can be. Right? For example, long time no practice. Even you can get lost your jhana. Right? Your inside knowledge also, you will get lost your inside knowledge also. It's possible. But when you can take part in first knowledge, no retreat, no regrets.
Another question on Zoom. How can a lay person who is busy with daily life still maintain a regular meditation practice and make progress? It is something very difficult or nearly impossible for a layman. Sada kindly give us some practice advice. Thank you, Sada.
Okay. Actually, I have already said many times to many yogi, right? A worthy life and a peaceful life, these two are opposite. If you wish to be worthy, don't expect peacefulness too much. If you wish to be peaceful, don't expect wealth too much. Right? These two are opposite. Okay?
Pandami Seattle, can you hear me?
I can hear.
Yes, Seattle, this is a question. A meditator has been meditating for many years without improvement. And someone told him that this is because of the parami is not enough. But after listening to Pandey's talks today, all those methods mentioned in the talks, would that help in the cultivations of parami?
Actually, parami is unseen. Right? So parami is the past, we cannot see, which has need present effort. So that means when we cannot improve, we cannot say parami, parami, parami all the time. We must have right effort. If we have right effort, sure, we can improve. Of course, we have to know many supporting causes also. Right? So if you are practicing long time without knowing what is your problem, what kind of then hinder your improvement, sure, although you practice 10 years, 20 years, it will be the same. If you know which factors hinder your improvement, you can change, you can improve. Okay, I should advise, don't think about parami too much. Trying to be wise and intelligent is possible. Okay, other one?
Pandami Seattle, some of his friends intended to ordain or participate in meditation retreat. But once the decision is made, she always faces many obstacles. So, and how to face it, all these obstacles?
Actually, obstacle, as long as you accept obstacle, you may have obstacles. Right? Some obstacles are not very important, you can cut it. So whenever you encounter some difficulty or when you have to face some impediment, you have to check how important it is. If something is not very important, you can cut it. You must make decision to practice. It will be fine. Okay. Actually, this one also unseen. Right? We cannot know we are Duhituka or Trihituka, right? When we practice, we can know it. But although we are Duhituka, it's still possible to see the light, to see the nimitta, to attain asset concentration. Then we can also practice vipassana. Okay? Okay, actually it comes from Brisanti. Okay? Tuhituka come from Brisanti, our repast moment. We can say refining consciousness. If our refining consciousness associated with aloba, adosa, amoha, is tihituka. But no amoha is associated with aloba and adosa, it becomes duhituka. Okay? So this is for human being and also divine beings. For about Brahma, it must be Tihituka. Okay? Okay, any question? In the Zoom?
Pandami Seattle, this yogi asked that the Pao system of meditations is very difficult. It needs a lot of time and the correct guidance from the teacher. So may Seattle, out of compassion, please give some advice to the beginners how to do. For example, should they do more walking meditations so that the mind calm down first before sitting meditation?
Actually, we may have very, very many steps to improve. So the first simple step is to know breathing simply and naturally. Okay? As long as you are practicing naturally and normally, you can expect. Of course, it will take very long time. Okay, one more thing. Then you may also know how long does it take for you to earn money since childhood. Right? You have to learn many things to earn money. Then even to have a survival skill, to survive as a human being, you have to struggle very long time. You have to learn many different things. Okay, now in the case of meditation, it's just for liberation. It will take longer than you learn in the school. Right? But anyway, if you are practicing smoothly, if you can improve smoothly, maybe within 2 or 3 years you can finish meditation course. But you can also know how to practice vipassana systematically. Okay. If I have to advise, it should be very simple, right? Just keep doing simple subjects, anapanasati, or 4 elements, or kasinas, or any subject. But don't do many subjects at the same times. Do only one thing at one time. Actually, there are many ways to develop virya. So sometimes when you are lazy, okay, you can also try to get some sort of urgency, samvega. If we have very strong samvega, you will be more diligent. Okay, practically in your environment, you can see many animals. They are fighting for food, fighting for shelter. But you don't need to fight for food, right? You are lucky enough. Then you have more opportunity to meditate. So whenever you are lazy, there are many other things to develop. For example, you have to set up a goal. If you have set a goal, for example, you will to attain jhana. This is your aim. If you are lazy, you cannot achieve it. This is the one thing, right? So your aim and your lifestyle are opposite, then you cannot achieve it. So from time to time, you have to recall what you wish to be. Then you will be diligent. Actually, there are many ways to develop virya. It will be too long because we have virya sambhojjhanga. There are some factors or some ways to develop virya. Okay? And any other question?
Namisya, she is a beginner and her body has illness. Her backbone, her spine is not well aligned. And then the body is also very weak until she cannot find the breath. Also, the mind power also become weak, so to the extent that she cannot focus well. Even listening to Dharma talk, also she cannot fully focus. So facing this type of obstacle, what should she do?
Actually, if you are willing to meditate, you can do. For example, you can lie down, focus on the breath. You can sit down, focus on the breath. You can walk, focus on the breath. The main thing is the willing mind. Another thing is the calmness of the mind. Of course, everybody has sickness. I also have sickness. Right? If we just recall sickness, we will get lost our hope. Okay, that means don't think about many sickness. Just think about your aim, what you wish to be. Now try for it. Okay, no more.
Vandami Siado, there is an English question in the chat room. How can a yogi who has attained jhana make a transition from samatha to vipassana? And at which point of moment is suitable to do this transition?
Not quite clear. Okay.
I reword it. When a yogi has attained jhana, at which point can he switch from samatha to vipassana?
Okay. So, if you have attained jhana, then there can be many different ways to continuous practice on vipassana. For example, entering into asset concentration also, you can go to 4 elements, discerning mentalities, you can go. Similarly, entering into jhana, you can discern jhana mentalities and materialities. Then you can also continuous practice in vipassana. If you have attained jhana, you have more options. You can start with either nama or rupa. But if you haven't attained jhana yet, you have only one way. You must discern rupa, after that discern nama. Okay, that means it depends on your condition. You can choose any method. Okay, now?
Should a person leave her responsibilities of family in order to practice?
Okay, I don't know how to your family, so it's difficult to advise, right? Okay, if you are busy with your family, so from time to time you can leave family. Okay, now we can share merit, right? Itavadaja amehi sambadam bunya sambadam sabbe deva numodantu sabbe buddha numodantu sabbe satta numodantu Sabha Sambati Siddhya Idame Nyatinam Hotu Sukhita Hondu Nyatayo Idame Nyatinam Hotu Sukhita Hondu Nyatayo Idame Nyatinam Hotu Sukhita Hondu Nyatayo Idame Bunyam Asawakaya Waham Hodu Idame Bunyam Nibbanasa Bhajayo Hodu Mama Bunya Bhagam Sabha Satanam Bhajami Te Sabbe Me Samam Bunya Bhagam Labantu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu